My business felt flat, and I had a coach ask me if money wasn't an issue in your business, what would you do? Like if you already had the money in your account. And without even thinking, I was like, easy, I'd start the podcast, I'd create a community, I would share other people and everything. And these were all things that I kind of thought, oh, I need to get some money in first before I can do these things. And for me, it just wasn't working out that way. What has been great over this whole thing is like, one, I have done amazing networking. I have had clients sign up because I have a podcast. I have ended up signing clients because they were on the podcast. And just so you know, I haven't had anybody sort of listen and go, oh, I've been listening to you for months and I have to work with you. That hasn't happened yet. I'm Tiffany Gilliland, your host of the Business Bravery podcast. I'm an Australian business and mindset coach and marketing service provider with 13 years of experience in online marketing. I help coaches sign clients and grow their business with more confidence and less stress using my Business Bravery framework. It's all about simple steps that actually work so you can build a profitable business that lights you up and feels sustainable. Before we dive in, I want to invite you to join me for Brave Coffee Connections, my free monthly Zoom gathering for coaches and service-based business owners. It's not another networking pitch fest. Instead, you'll connect through powerful questions, small group conversations, and a short visualization to set you up for the month ahead. These deeper connections often lead to collaborations, referrals, and even new clients. Find out more about this free monthly Zoom gathering at tiffanygstudios.com/connections. That's tiffanygstudios.com/connections. I'd love to see you there. Hello, everybody. I am super excited to be talking to you this week about podcasting, visibility, and is answering the question, is it worth it? Right now, I know not everybody answering is going to be, or everybody listening is going to be considering that they want to start a podcast, but there could be something big that you want to do. Like maybe you want to do more talking to camera reels or do that masterclass or webinar or whatever word you want to call it this week. Or then, maybe you want to start your YouTube channel or something like that, right? There's something. Maybe you want to go and dive into TikTok. So there's something big that you might want to do. So like, this is kind of answering these two questions. And one is just like, is it worth it? And then like, what is it like to pursue something that makes you more visible? And then at the other side of things, a bit more specifically about like podcasting itself of, okay, answering the question I get of like, oh, hey, I want to start a podcast. Is it worth it? And, should I start a podcast or something like that too? Sort of with this framework of like, this is my 100th episode. And so sort of like celebrating that we have gotten this far, right? Episodes. And just also being aware of like, yes, it's 100 episodes, but I haven't been doing this for 2 years. I've actually been doing this for about 3 years because I have managed to get out about 30 episodes per year because I haven't always had an assistant helping me. So I brought on an assistant at the end of last year, like in around August or so, July, August or something. And so, yeah, just that has been helping me. Although I still think that possibly I might move these into more formal seasons with breaks and things like that, because like unplanned production breaks aren't always sexy. Right? And perhaps just being like, hey, this is who I am. Let's plan these in advance and just have those breaks and things like that. Even with having an assistant who can help, it's like we can kind of get ahead on the next batch or something like that. I'm just thinking that might be easier because strangely enough, there's just like a lot of moving parts to doing a podcast, especially when you're like putting it out on YouTube and all the actual podcast things, and then also putting it out on like Instagram and Facebook and all of that. So yeah. So I guess for anybody who doesn't know like the story of how I got started with my podcast and how I went from like dreaming about the big thing to actually doing it, because I was dreaming about it for about 3 years before I actually moved into doing this. And okay, so the story of why I started my podcast was back in 2023. I was miserable, my business felt flat, and I had a coach ask me if money wasn't an issue in your business, what would you do? Like if you already had the money in your account. And like without even thinking, I was like, easy, I'd start a podcast, I'd create a community, I would share other people and everything. And these were all things that I kind of thought, oh, I need to get some money in first before I can do these things. And for me, it just wasn't working out that way. So, yeah, when I realized, I was like, okay, let's work out how I can do this and all of that goodness. At the time, I was more focused on the coaching side of my business. So, starting a podcast was easier. With having services and coaching, podcasting, it's it's been a little bit more of a juggle in recent months. So I can kind of understand why. Especially this year, it was a little bit harder to get back into the podcast. I kind of was at this point where it's like we've we're at this point where it's like, oh, I've gotten all the guest podcasts out. I'm doing a couple of solo ones, and I'm at this point where I've got to go get more guest podcasts. And I'm like, oh, I could just turn this into a solo podcast for a while, or yeah, or I could just stop. But I'm coming back from a holiday break and making those kinds of decisions when my sleep is out of whack and I don't make great decisions when I'm kind of in a funk and sort of seeing everything through a more negative lens. Just holding off on that decision. But the decision that I have done in the meantime is to shorten the episodes. So she says, and she forgot to restart the timer after I paused just before. So there we go. All right. That's why I started the podcast, right? I heard a few people sort of say on podcasts, oh, I started because it was great to talk to people. Like it is great to talk to other people, and rather than just get on coffee chats, people are like, oh, like a bit more excited about getting on a podcast and that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a lot of fun, and it's been amazing networking that way. And the other reason that I started was because I listen to a lot of coaches online, and the people who I listen to all the time, they were the ones who I spent thousands of dollars with. So I was like, okay, maybe this is something that I can be doing and trying out. So yeah, of course, I wanted in my mind my goal wasn't to like get to a top 100 podcast or top 10 or whatever podcast in as short a time as possible. For me, it was all about just finding my feet and going at my own pace and just sort of treating this as a medium to longer term strategy without like expecting it to make amazing wins and everything. I do have some great download numbers though. We've had over 1,000 downloads now, like in total, and we're getting hundreds of downloads a month. Obviously, if I had been more consistent, that might be further up. But it is what it is. This is real life, and there we go. No beating myself up. So what what I found really interesting, though, what I didn't expect was that I would actually grow my own self confidence and self trust, and my speaking skills, I feel, have improved compared to when I started. Also, like the little voice in your head that sometimes is like, what are you saying that for? That's terrible. That's the worst thing. Or on guest podcasts at the beginning, it was like, oh, I've got 100 questions. What do I ask? And then, oh, do you think I do this one? Do you think I do that one? Or, oh, why did you ask that? Nobody cares. Like that little voice has gone away for the most part. Although when I was recording the last episode, episode 99, there was definitely a little bit of, because it was a little bit out of my comfort zone, it was a different style, it was more reflective, and I'm a lot more comfortable in the here's the problem, here's the solution, here's how I got there type thing, as opposed to here's what people are saying about this topic. And you're not alone if you're thinking these things type thing, and here's what we discussed, and here is some solutions, but yeah, not really. I don't know, wasn't the whole thing. Anyway, so what has been great over this whole thing is like, one, I have done amazing networking. I have had clients sign up because I have a podcast. I have ended up, signing clients because they were on the podcast, right? And just so you know, I haven't had anybody sort of listen and go, "Oh, I've been listening to you for months and I have to work with you." That hasn't happened yet. However, I have had people who are like, "Oh, I saw you've got a podcast," and they didn't listen to the podcast, but the fact that I have one is enough for them to end up working with me either in coaching or services. So make of that what you will. It could be because I have this like creative energy and I tend to attract probably a lot of people with ADHD. And so the long episodes maybe aren't so great for those people, or just even long content isn't great for those people. It's funny. It's like years back I did a 30-day live thing, and people weren't really watching the lives, but they certainly noticed that I was going live every day for 30 days. You know what I mean? They were, and they were talking to me because of it, not necessarily because of the content I was put out, but the fact that I was doing it. Because yeah, that's the fun about longer form. It's like, I don't know, the fact that you've got it is a certain amount of proof of something and draws people in. It's so funny. And we spend all this time overthinking all the content. So yeah, definitely like would I recommend, and I will talk about is it worth it, but like would I recommend starting a podcast? I think so, yes, if just depending, like getting clear on your goals. And I mean, if your goal is to get into the top 100 or top 10 as fast as possible or whatever, then go for it. There's no holding you back. I guess I was just in a different place where I just didn't want that extra pressure. Just already have so much. I've put pressure on myself in the past, being the like years ago I was more the marketing guru, and so the pressure about the numbers to prove that I know what I'm talking about and everything was just, it was so much, and I found it made my results worse. So I guess for me it was more about, okay, can I stay consistent? Can I commit to doing this? Like when I started, it was like, okay, I'm committing to this for at least 3 years. To see how I feel, do I enjoy it, everything, and something like, who knew I had so much to say? Right, talking too much. But yeah, hopefully we're getting into the phase where it's like, okay, we can cut this down and be a bit more succinct. Quick break to tell you about Brave Coffee Connections, my free monthly Zoom for coaches and service based business owners. In just 60 minutes, you'll reflect on brave questions, connect in small groups, and finish with a visualization to set you up for success. It's not networking as usual, no awkward pitches, just real conversations that often lead to collaborations, referrals, and clients. Grab your free spot now at tiffanygstudios.com/connections. That's TIFFANYG for golf, studios.com/connections. I can't wait to see you there. So something else that was great was trusting my voice. I mean, even if you want to grow your speaking skills or being comfortable on camera, I kind of always say this because, I back years ago I was like a video bravery coach before I came full circle and went through marketing and then, coaching, like general business coaching and mindset in background to bravery. And yeah, when I was helping people with video, it was like, oh, just record yourself every day for a couple of minutes a day until you feel comfortable. You don't have to ever post it. And you can do that with a podcast. Just record a few episodes without ever posting them anywhere. Like all you have to do is get on Zoom or Google Meet, record yourself. It doesn't have to be hard. Sorry, can you record yourself on Google Meet? Maybe you can't, I'm not sure. Without paying, I don't know, I'm a Zoom girly. So yeah, some things that I would do differently in starting my podcast. I don't know. Look, I took the easy way out in terms of the length of episodes. I might try and do shorter episodes. This time with my podcast is not my first time doing podcasting. I actually, back in 2017, there was an app, can't remember what it was called, but one of the big ones bought it out. I think Spotify bought it out or something, but it was this app where you could go and just like hit a record button, record, and it would like go out on the app and it was your podcast. But it didn't go out to all the Apple podcasts and everything, or maybe it did, I can't remember. And I would awkwardly record myself. Wasn't brave enough to invite guests on or anything like that. I'd just record myself talking to my phone and do little 10-minute, 20-minute episodes or something, and I'd get like 40 listeners per episode. And I don't know who they were. One of my friends told me that he didn't like it though, and that sort of I kind of took that to heart. I was like, I mean, I had my speaking skills weren't as good as they are now, and they're still growing and developing. So I guess that's another reason why I didn't start out with the whole I want to be a top 100 podcast. I think I recognized it's like I want to grow my speaking skills and do that in the comfort of a smaller audience and grow like that. Yeah, I don't know. I tried to do 30 to 40-minute episodes for guest things, but I'd always get drawn in and just want to hear more about the stories, and it's like 40, 50 minutes. But now I set the timer for 25 minutes so I can add 5 minutes of intro and outro and all that stuff and that kind of thing. So that's what I'm doing going forward, although bear with me if it's a little bit longer or whatever. But yeah, probably start maybe with shorter episodes. Because I did run the podcast accountability group, and one of the people who came along to that to get started, Michelle, she started her podcast just doing like little 10-minute episodes on her own. And I just remember part of me looked at that and just was like, oh, that'd be like in some ways so much easier, but succinct isn't always my strength. And things I would do differently. I wrote down getting support sooner, but I really got support at the right time, like when my business could afford it, like support with editing and stuff. And just make sure you've got great systems, like when you're getting started. I don't know, mine were pretty good for what I needed, but they had to change once I have someone helping me and I'm about to bring on somebody else to help with different parts of the process. And I don't know why, like podcasting on its own isn't that complicated. It's just repurposing the content for YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and, having that kind of stuff, like cutting it up in different ways and then putting it on the blog and all that kind of thing and then sending stuff to the guest or whatever. It's just, there's just things need systems and things have to be named the same, and here's where you find them and here's your templates and here's what makes a good caption and a good description and all of that kind of thing. And a lot of people don't necessarily start there. Like I have friends of mine, Maggie from the Chaos to Clarity podcast. I think based on our conversations, my impression is like she can like record an episode, and I think she does the 20 to 30-minute ones, and she can get it up and out in an hour, and then she makes use of what's it called? Software. Uh, Mind has gone blank. I wasn't planning to talk about this, but I forget what it is. But one of the hang on, let me pause. Okay, just did a quick Google. She makes use of Riverside, which my mum also raves about, and it cuts things up into shorts and everything like that. And so she puts out a lot of content that way as well. So it doesn't have to be as hard as I'm making it. Another reason uh, I'm trying to work out like how to make this easier. So yeah, just making sure you've got good systems. And I also did batch creation and everything, so that also helped for a while until my business got busier, and then it was like I've got time to do one episode. And then I fell out of the batch creation situation. But is it worth it, right? And I think it's like if you're clear on your goals and what you want out of it, then yes it is. I don't know. I don't want to feel like I'm like, I don't know, yucking anybody's yum or anything like that with the whole like, I don't know, some people are just amazing. They hit the ground running and they're like, yeah, I'm in the top 10 podcasts or top 100 or whatever we should be aiming for. I don't know. Really, it's not on my thing to do. I'm happy with like solid growth over time. And yeah, but I don't know, for me, and I don't know, if you're attracted to me and you can handle the way that I speak, it's possibly because maybe you might need to build your own speaking skills or your own bravery, right? So I think that's where the whole, yes, I'm doing this in a way that um that supports me. I think the other thing that I would do differently actually is have like formal seasons from the start rather than trying to go, oh, 52 weeks in a year. Or my goal was like 42 or something like that, I think 39 to 42. I get, I think, approximately around 30 with like unplanned production breaks. And it's like, okay, let's just decide this is a part-time thing and it happens in certain periods and then not in others. Like, and I take a break over, Christmas, New Year, that kind of thing too. Yeah, I think, but the connection that it has built, the community it has built, it's definitely led to opportunities, the ability to be a guest on other people's podcasts, the self confidence, the speaking skills, especially for coaches, like just building your own leadership skills and like having topics to talk on and that kind of thing. Yeah, and being able to build rapport with a range of people, different personalities, different backgrounds, different experiences. I don't know. If you love stories as much as I do, then definitely it's for you. And it's funny, in the podcast accountability group that I ran, I used to talk about how like we got into podcasting because we love to talk and share our stories and connect with people through this auditory medium mainly. I mean, I do video stuff as well. And yet so much of it is just that the breaking down of the production and the pieces and how to make things easier and faster and everything. So yeah, definitely. Something to be aware of. I don't overly edit my episodes. Like they go through AI to pull out the ums, ahs, and so's. And other than that, take the beginning, take the end off, add on the intro and outro. That's as much editing as I do. I don't go in and do hardcore editing. And like I'm happy with that. And it takes a lot of the time out. But where for me it's the repurposing and turning it into other pieces of content and everything that, yeah, is because I have the background in content and that kind of thing. It felt right for me at the time, but nothing that you have to do. You don't have to start that way, especially if you don't have a team to help you or at least one VA to help you. Um, so yeah, I'd probably just start with the audio, maybe a copy of the video on YouTube, and then just because that's free and easy to do, and then also some like reels on Instagram. Those are my main focus. But yeah, that's kind of a reflection after 100 episodes of podcasting. Is it worth it? I think definitely if you're clear on your goals and who you are and what you want to get out of it, then it's definitely worth it. And there's nothing to stop you from getting into the top podcasts if that's what you want as well. Yeah. So if you're listening to this and you have any questions about podcasting or anything like that, definitely reach out. Come find me over on Instagram at Tiffany G Studios, Tiffany, G for golf, Studios. I would love to hear if this sparked you to like, hey, I want to get in and I want to start it because it has been amazing and really rewarding. I know I'm like sort of in chilled out mode right now, tired. So yeah, definitely consider it. And if you're not really into podcasting but you want to start that big thing, then again, just like sort of say, hey, I'm going to do this as set a time limit. I'm going to set 3 months. I'm going to test this out. Let's do it. That's definitely one way. It's like, hey, let's just start with a season. I don't have to commit to podcasting forever. I don't have to commit to whatever the big project is forever. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to me today. That's it from me. Bye for now. Thanks for listening today. If you're ready to grow through deeper connections, join me for Brave Coffee Connections. It's my free monthly Zoom call for coaches and service providers. No pitches, just real conversations that spark collaborations, referrals, and new clients. Plus, you'll leave with clarity, inspiration, and one brave action for the month ahead. Save your free spot at tiffanystudios.com/connections. That's TIFFANYG for golf, STUDIOS.com/connections. I can't wait to see you there.